Oh, welcome back. That is right. The man played in the league for 14 years, including a nice run with the Spurs. Ooh, ooh. NBA TV analyst Steve Smith joins us now in Phoenix because you were doing the second game tonight, Sixers Suns. We just did a lot of Joel Embiid in the first segment. We're going to get your opinion on what went down this weekend. But can we talk a little bit of basketball before we get to that? Because they're 1-4. Looks like Paul George is playing. What are we expecting from this Sixers team tonight on the road?
You know, I think if you have Paul George, it helps. But I think with the Sixers, the struggles have been health, and then I think health becomes frustrations. I've had a whole bunch of injuries, and you have frustration. But I think right now for them to get over that hump, once you get healthy and you get over the frustrations, then you have a chance. But if you have distractions anytime with your team, that's when things start to go awry. And I think right now the Sixers have all three. They have health, they have frustrations, and distractions. So hopefully they can correct that.
That's the worst trifecta.
Yeah.
We heard from these guys in the first segment about the altercation that Embiid got into with Marcus Hayes. Obviously, as players, you guys are always going to have different opinions than civilians. So what was your take, sort of what led to it, and then how it played out?
Well, I think, Michelle, there's a line that was crossed. I mean, everybody has their individual lines. For me, when you started talking about family, and you started talking about obviously some, different things that have happened with Joel Embiid's family with deaths, I think that's where the line is crossed. Obviously, I don't know their relationships, but it seems like it has hit a boiling point. I think as a former player, I'm okay. You can criticize my game. You can criticize pretty much everything on the court. But when it starts getting off the court, and it's not even me, but it started to hit your family, your immediate family, and people that have passed, that's when I think the line is crossed.
Yeah, see, Smitty, that's what I said. I said, make fun of me, say I'm overpaid, think I'm soft, whatever. But when you start talking about my children or you start talking about a deceased family member, like, I'm sorry, I'll deal with the consequences, and I'm okay with the suspension, a fine. But, like, at some point, enough is enough.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chandler. I mean, I think you said it best. I will add to it. I don't know if I'm going to take soft, though, Chandler. I'm not going to take that. That's the one thing. As all of us, as NBA players, you might have that from your teammates, but from a media member to say you're soft and you haven't been through training camp, you haven't been through these injuries, I'm not going to accept that as either. I think also as a veteran, I learned over time how to deal with the media. When I was a rookie, it was a little bit different. And I think for Joel Embiid, it's just the frustration of starting to boil over and also somebody crossing the line.
That's what I think people are going to be watching now is obviously Embiid's very frustrated for a variety of reasons. And now it's just come out in the last, 20 minutes or so that the team itself behind Daryl Morey and Elton Brand, they issued an apology to the reporter, which I'm wondering now from your perspective, if you're Joel Embiid and you watched that this morning, are you mad at the team? Are you starting to think about, like, maybe I won't be here forever? Like, what's going through his mind?
Michelle, I wasn't there, but I mean, my first thing would be, why? As a team, why are we, issuing apologies? I think, and maybe it was to that extent that they needed to, but that'll be a little bit of frustration with me along the lines with the article I read. And behind the scenes, you never know, but I think the one thing for me, I'd be more frustrated, if there's a apology to him and there's not apology back to myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Smitty, switching to a different page. You're out in Phoenix right now. The big three, they are finally back healthy. Give me your take on it. Do you think they're the team to beat out in the Western Conference now?
I'm sorry, Lou, what team was you saying?
I'm sorry. I said the big three out in Phoenix.
Yes.
They're playing tonight. Do you think they're the team to beat in the Western Conference?
I have OKC still the team to beat. And I think also the defending champs, even though Denver hasn't played as well. But I think Lou, Chandler, Michelle, if you look at the Phoenix Suns right now, they have a point guard. I asked him last year at Media Day, and I got all type of questions. Devin Booker's going to play point. Bradley Beal, Nurkic is going to play point center. And I still ask the question, you still ain't gave me a point guard. Those guys do different things. And the big three of Beal, Durant, and Booker, they score. And I think the one thing you have to do is let them score. And as you guys know, it's been a lost art. They have a point guard that has, 41 assists to 5 turnovers. And not only that, he's a throw-ahead point guard. I don't think people really understand a guy that throws ahead. That's kind of selfless to get you going. And as a scorer, I think those guys are put into their space right now. I like Plumlee. I like Royce O'Neal. I like the additions they have. They are a deeper team. And Bud, as you know, Michelle, from San Antonio, it's going to be defense, I played for him. And the one thing this year, in the media day, he talked about, I just want these guys, Smitty, to compete. And I didn't think they competed at a high level last year. I thought it was a good level.
Smitty,
Wait, hold on. I like this heaven light that you have going on right now.
I don't know what I got going on.
Whatever you just did.
It's like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Whatever you did when you blocked, if you have blinds, you blocked it, it was pretty.
I got blinds. I don't know what's going on.
Phoenix Suns.
The sun is hot.
Phoenix Sun, man.
Michelle, all you need is my voice. That's all you need.
That's fine.
Smitty, the Bucks are now 1-5, the worst record in the Eastern Conference.
You want me to close the blinds? Okay.
Hold on.
Bow, bow, bow. Yeah, this is like action TV. I like this.
There we go.
Hotel blinds, man. You just don't know where the sun's coming
There we
out.
go.
Now we're rolling.
Now we're looking at something.
Jack of all trades.
Smitty, the Bucks. Whoa, 1-5, worst in the Eastern Conference. You would have told me 2 weeks ago the 76ers and the Bucks would have been 14-15 after a week or two. Would have been no good. Where do you look to blame this kind of disastrous start? Is it a coaching thing? Is it a chemistry thing? What's your take on the state of the Milwaukee Bucks?
Chandler, I start off, the Bucks can't defend. They can't guard. I look at the Milwaukee Bucks from the time when they won the championship and they run they had those years when they was exceptional. They could defend. And I think Chris Middleton, one of our underrated stars, people are not talking about how much he's missed. Here's a guy that could get you 20 and also guard at the time the best 2 or the 3. And yes, Jrue Holiday is gone, but that combination of a backcourt of Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton is gone. And then I think also, if you look at pace, they can't get easy buckets. They don't run. Other than Giannis can get it off the break and get a chance to dunk. They don't get easy buckets. And I think their player development, for some reason, their young guys that they've drafted, acquired, just hasn't gotten better. I think Marshawn Beauchamp is the guy they're even talking about trading right now. And then maybe he needs a fresh start at a new spot to see if he can help somebody, because right now their development of the young guys haven't taken another step.
Yeah, it's interesting because I love Marshawn. I love the additions of Gary Trent, Taurean Prince. So on paper, this team looks like it should work, looks like it should mesh. And call me crazy, I still think there's obviously time. It's 6 games in, it's a small sample size, but man, they don't look too good. So in your take right now, Giannis wins another ring in Milwaukee or forces a trade to another team? Which one's more likely to happen?
No, I don't think they win another ring right now the way they're constructed. So I would say, if you give me those 2 options, I think he has to force a trade if he's trying to win a championship.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the Knicks. I just want credit for it when it happens, because I said it over a year ago.
We always hear the Knicks rumors, and then we hear last week it's the Nets. We were like, what in the world?
Like, if you were Giannis, and I would imagine this year, next year, 2 years, like, he's still going to pretty much get his pick. Like, where would you want to see Giannis play, if not in Milwaukee?
If I'm a Milwaukee fan, I want to see him in Milwaukee first, because Chandler said it. It's just 6 games in. I think if I was the Bucks, I'm not coaching there. I love Doc. I would start Giannis at the 5. I think that gives them an advantage. I love Brook Lopez, let him come off the bench. But it'll be Giannis and Bobby Porter starting for me, just because we can have a better, I think, team defensively and offensively. I think they'll be a much better team. They'll be able to get more pace, also get more buckets. And I think an advantage for Giannis at the 5. I don't think other than maybe Embiid, maybe Jokic, that there's anybody that can really dominate Giannis at the 5 position right now.
I got to talk, obviously, we're going to talk a little bit of Spurs while you're here. Got the championship back in 2003. That was a young Pop, a younger Pop back then. What do you remember? I love asking guys sort of like their Pop experiences. Sometimes Danny Green comes on the show. I always want to ask him about that. Your memories of young Pop, what are they?
The same as, you know what, Michelle, you're right. Young Pop, just into you defensively and never smiled. I can see right now, they're getting a young Pop. He's smiling, he's having fun. But I think the one thing I'll tell you about Pop is he's one of the best I've ever seen on being able to just ad-lib and also being able to construct defensively and also offensively what's best for that team. You always knew what you were going to do. That's the one thing. He was always prepared, and we knew where the ball was going. It was kind of easy when I played. Smitty throw it to Tim Duncan, go get in the corner and wait to hit a 3. So it was totally different. But I will say he changed after he lost Tim and David. He's just one of those basketball minds that is unbelievable. And I think right now, I thought he was probably about to leave Michelle 2 or 3 years ago, but I think this Wemby right now has really energized him. He looks happy and he looks like he's ready to go again.
Smitty, in 2002, Tim Duncan won the MVP award, and you were there when he received that award. You wore a suit. You wore a suit to the ceremony. What did Tim wear to that ceremony?
Yeah,
Lou,
sounds familiar.
he wore it just like your reaction when he laughed. And for me as a veteran, you know, I'm excited. I'm coming in with a suit. That's just the way I look at it.
The Burks.
And Lou, as me, Kevin Willis, some of the older guys, Steve Kerr, I said, Tim, I know you're not wearing this. And, you know, in Tim form, he said, why not? I said, you got on some, I don't know what they called.
They're
shoes.
jorts, kind of.
The Birkenstock.
Jorts are back. Jorts
But then he had on these, I mean, that was Tim. To me, it was, Lou, I was surprised to see a guy accept the MVP award in that outfit. That looked like you were about to go outside and cut the grass. That's what it looked like.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Smitty,
Wow.
we obviously know what Pop did for guys like David Robinson, Tim Duncan. Now he's got Wemby, who you mentioned. Is he the perfect fit? Is he going to get the most out of Victor Wembanyama? Is he going to keep him there now for years to come? What's your take on that situation?
Chandler, I love that question because I think last year was Pop at his genius. I would have think he only played like 25 minutes because Pop's not worried about himself. Any other coach would probably have been playing a kid 35 to 40 minutes. I mean, Pop is bringing him along slow, the right way. And I think Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, those veterans going to really help him. I'm just looking at it, Lou and Chandler. You know, I'm scratching my head. He went and got Jamal Crawford to work him out this year.
Yeah.
I said, okay, the times have changed from when I played when I thought people ran Akeem Olajuwon as a big. So Lou, Chandler, they might be calling you to work out Wemby next.
We might be next. I got a fadeaway he can put in his bag.
I'll give him that shot fake. That's all I had.
Dude,
That's the one thing that's changed. I can't wait to talk to Jamal about what they really worked on. Because I know it was great. It's going to help his game, but that's just different for me.
Yeah, it's going to be some ball handling, some creativity.
I mean, we've seen a bit of it already.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
He's kind of doing things that don't make sense for the size that he is.
It's ridiculous.
I almost feel it feels unfair asking this question because we now know what Tim Duncan's career looked like. It was amazing. But let's just say you had to go back in time. You have Tim Duncan, you have Victor Wembanyama on the board. Who would you take?
You know, I got to go Tim. I love Victor for as far as the nominal, you know, everything is going on with him. But Tim, we all knew coming out of college, which the Spurs give Pop a lot of credit how he orchestrated that one to get the #1 pick.
Wait, what happened? Did he do something?
You know, Michelle, you know better than anybody else.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay. Well, I don't either, but I can tell you they got the #1 pick. But I definitely go with Tim. I mean, he's the greatest power forward in the history, in my opinion.
Facts.
See, and you guys get mad when I put him top 5. All right, 2000 Olympic team. That was a who's who of ball players: KG, Vince Carter, Ray Allen, J. Kidd, you. Like as far as the gold medal winning teams through history, where do you rank that one?
You know, I rank pretty high. I mean, the only reason why I say that, you know, because we lost. Tim Duncan didn't come play that year. We lost Vin Baker, and I would say when Larry Brown checked me in and Sharif Abdul-Rahim to check Yao Ming, I said, boy, something's wrong. Because we had to play the 5 behind KG. So we almost lost, you know, in one of those games. I think we gutted it out. I give J. Kidd and Gary Payton defensively what they did in KG. But it was one of those teams that we were close-knit, but we didn't have any bigs, which really, really hurt us because Lonzo, you know, as you guys know, was having some issues injury-wise and had to go back for the birth of his child. So we were lacking bigs, but we got a chance to pull that off. And the Vince Carter dunk, something I still have never seen in my life. Being able to, I mean, he came back to the bench, Lou and Chandler, like he was like, well, Smitty, why are you looking at me like that? I'm like, you just jumped over a 7-footer.
You just started
I guess
a
that
war.
was normal for him, not normal for me.
Yeah.
With you guys being so young at that time, Smitty, did you ever have a moment where you looked around the gym and realized, wow, I'm in the gym, I'm in the midst with a bunch of future Hall of Famers right here. Like, look at this picture.
You know, and Lou, I would say the best part about it, and there's some, you know, if you get a chance to talk, but winning the gold medal was fantastic. Our practices was something like training camp 2-a-days. The intensity of GP, the intensity of J. Kidd, KG, Tim Hardaway, it was something. We played one-on-one every day. We did everything. I would tell people this. People don't know. Allen Houston one-on-one was impressive, Lou.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had hurt his right hand or right wrist. He was playing one-on-one left-handed and was doing all right. And that's why I said, Allen, I haven't seen this part of you before in games where he could go get his own with his left hand.
Allen Houston was the original ISO Joe.
Yes.
You mentioned the ones, Allen Houston, but is it true KG just went at everybody one-on-one and cooked pretty much everybody?
The worst part about it, he just kept talking and chirping and chirping. But
Love it.
He was hard. He was on one day that they caught on film.
Yeah,
and
I've seen the clips.
You mentioned that dunk. It's the Frederick Weiss dunk.
Yes.
The dude was 7'2". He's 7'2". Like here it is. We got to show it because there might be some kids that don't know that happened. It's funny to me that Vince walked back like it was no big deal. Do you remember like the first thing that popped in your head when you just watched that happen in real time?
I did.
I think I slapped the ground and got ready for defense.
And said, "Did we just see this?" And I think Vince, he almost punched KG celebrate. That would have been interesting. But I think Vince was so animated, so hyped, and so emotional. He was just in the huddle like, what's next? As far as because the game, was kind of close, and we were looking at him like, Vince, do you kind of know what you just did? And he kept looking at me. We kept standing there. He said, Smitty, what's wrong? I said, I guess you don't really realize it, do you? He didn't realize what he had just done.
He does now. By the way, where does that rank in-game dunk for all you guys?
Can you imagine if that happened now?
Oh, it would.
Number one.
Chandler said it best. If it happened now, it would be, I think that was filmed on one of those video cameras like this. It would be one.
It's pretty good, too, because then you watch the reactions in the back. The guy's just like, it's fun to go back and look at slow-mo. We got a double dunk video want to play for you right now, because there are a lot of people that can dunk. A lot of people can.
This
but
has got to be in my younger
in-game,
years.
He knows it's coming.
Yeah. Take us through the mental. Why, dude?
When I was younger, Michelle, Chandler, and Lou, I did a lot of different things. I threw it off the backboard, had dunks. I threw it off guys' back. I would tell you, that game right there, Wes Unseld was coaching. He gave me a look. I said, I don't want to meet him in the alley because he was upset. I did things all the time where, it was just my upbringing of playing the game of basketball in Detroit, especially when I was frustrated. We always talk about frustrating. You do things out of character. But that was my character back then when I played it.
Did you get a delay of game or anything? Nobody cared.
They just kept it moving?
Chandler, you can fight, go fight.
That was a different time.
To get a tech, you had to do a lot more than that.
That's incredible.
That's crazy.
You would get tossed now if that happened.
If you even celebrated weird.
That's incredible.
Wow, maybe we are softer now, guys.
Yeah.
I think there's truth to that, finally. Steve Smith calling Sixers Suns tonight at 10:15 Eastern. Very specific time, Steve. You better be ready. We appreciate it.
Hey, I want to say, Michelle, before we leave, I watched that guy Lou in high school. A kid that got buckets from middle school to now. Lou, it was a treat to watch you.
I appreciate it, man. And I used to get on the MAR to come check you out.
And look at him. Now he's on the dark side with us in the media.
I know, he's on this side.
Bad
He's
side.
from Zaya Fast.
Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it, Smitty.